Okay, so here we're gonna make fiestadas. You need mild cheddar, Ortega mild taco sauce, refried beans, about a cup of already cooked ground meat with the taco seasoning according to the package, another taco seasoning, and a pizza crust. Okay, first thing you want to do is take the cooked ground meat, add the can of refried beans. You don't want a ton of meat because the original fiestadas did not have a ton of meat. Then you're going to open up your taco seasoning. Add 2 tablespoons of seasoning to the mix. Then you're going to stir this all together. Also, you should preheat your oven to 450 beforehand. That I forgot to tell you. Once that's all mixed in, you're going to add 2 tablespoons to 3 tablespoons of the sauce. So I'm going to start off with 2 to see the thickness, and then we'll go from there. So a lot of copycat recipe is tasting and smelling while you're cooking. So you want to smell it, and it tastes really good. So I don't think any more sauce is necessary. Maybe just a little bit more taco seasoning, and I think it's good then. So I'm going to put in a 1/3 tablespoon of taco seasoning. Okay, so after I've stirred everything together, I kind of looked at the consistency, and I think it needs just a little bit more meat. So I'm going to put another 1/2 cup of meat in, and then it should be okay. Also, I should mention this is a big portion. I'm making like 3 batches. So you can condense it, but this is what I'm making for tonight. Okay, so this consistency looks good. The meat looks good. I'm going to push that out of the way, and next we're going to do our dough. So you're going to put the package in. I'm going to do 1 package at a time. And it says put in a 1/2 cup of hot water and stir it and let it sit for 5 minutes. Okay, so we have it in a ball. We're going to let it sit for 5 minutes. Okay, so next we are going to spray the cookie sheet down, because on the directions it says grease your cookie sheet. I always put foil down, it makes it easier to clean up. And then we're going to spread the dough out. Okay, so I spread it out. It says it's supposed to go in a 12-inch circle. I made it a little bit thinner because if you remember, the fiestadas were thinner on their crust. They also had little holes in it. I'm imagining that was so that the dough would not bubble up and make those pizza bubbles. I'm gonna try not doing it this time, but if it happens, then next time I'll just poke little holes in it with a fork. Okay, so I'm gonna take a portion of my mixture, spread it around, which might almost be too much for this one, but let's see. I'm actually going to take a little bit off, I think. Because you don't want it too thick. Because if you remember, this was like the 70s, 80s, 90s. Maybe not the 70s so much. But anyway, the idea was to feed the kids, not for healthiness. And that's why we're using the refried beans. Because I figured the meat, it wasn't just like a meat paste. It was something else. And that's why I put the taco seasoning in. Oh, that's going to fall. Okay, so once this is all spread out, you can see how there's like little meat chunks in it. So this is going to work out good, I think. So as long as the crust comes out good, I think we've got it. Okay, so then you're going to take your cheese, and it's got to be the mild shredded cheese. I get Giant Eagle brand, that's my favorite. You can use whatever brand you want. And you're going to sprinkle it across the top. Not too heavy, but not where you can see through it. And go to the edge or you're going to be wasting space. Okay. So I got a bag that has 4 cups and I've used a little more than half on it, which I like cheese, so that's fine. Okay, so on the package it says to cook this for 12 to 17 minutes at 450. So we're gonna do that. I'm gonna watch it towards the end to make sure that it's not overcooking, but we'll see. I don't know about you, but I think this might work. Okay, so we're at 10 minutes on cooking, and I think it needs a couple more, but as you can see, the edges are starting to brown, and the middle's still a little cheesy, so we're gonna wait a couple more minutes. Okay, so we're at 12 minutes. Let me pull it out of the oven. And here it is. Now, I know this is huge, but I think going forward, I'll cut them in half and do 2 separate ones so that they get all that edging cooked equally. So next is a taste test. I'm gonna wait a couple minutes and then we'll cut it up. Okay, so you can see how the crust is like really thin on this, and the middle resembles what it would have looked like. So hopefully it will taste the same. Okay, so let's try it. I think this is as close as it's ever gonna get. So the only thing I would change is maybe not so much cheese. Obviously, cutting them into 2 separate ones like this will help, because then it won't be as brown around the edges. But I think this is as close as it's gonna get. Maybe add a little bit more taco seasoning, maybe a little bit more of the mild seasoning, but the key is the refried beans and the meat. The other stuff is just add to taste. So I hope this helped.